and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we get to chat with Kevin Coughlin from the Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association because tomorrow's their annual Pumpkin Spice Festival. We'll hear all about it. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, 57 degrees with brilliant sunshine. Going to be a bright but a brisk day today, breezy as well, with highs in the low 60s. Definitely the feel of fall in the air this afternoon. Chilly night again tonight under clear skies. Lows will drop off into the mid-40s. And for the first time in a long time, a dry weekend. Tomorrow, clouds, a few sunny breaks with a high in the low 60s. About the same thing on Sunday, a little bit cooler. High around 60 degrees. And even Monday will stay mostly dry. It will be cloudy and cool. The high Monday only in the upper 50s. Again, sunshine, breezy, 57 degrees in Quincy right now. Checking out news for you today. Well, the race for mayor here in Quincy is heating up after another debate last night. Quincy Access Television hosted their second debate between incumbent Mayor Thomas Koch and challenger Councilor at Large Ann Mahoney. Several hundred people attended that debate in the auditorium at Quincy High School last night. The city's finances were a major issue during the debate. In particular, the $475 million pension obligation bond that the City Council passed on a 6-3 vote 2 years ago. Mayor Koch said that move is saving Quincy taxpayers millions of dollars. Councilor Mahoney, who voted against the bond, claims that process was flawed.
We've worked extremely hard to deal with the structural deficits that we inherited and all those items that were pushed off and kind of kicked the can down the road. One of the major ones was the pension obligation bond, which we enacted last year through the vote of the City Council, which over the next 17 years is going to save the taxpayers of Quincy $130 million. Those are real numbers. Those are decisions we made that were lauded by national financial folks and called it a genius moment. We did that when the interest rates were historically low. And now we've seen the rates change. It was a brilliant move, and I thank the City Council members that did support it. My opponent did not.
I am very proud that I actually had the discussions about the pension bond. However, we got to be able to have PERIC actually do the investment for that bond. The reason why that was so important was because in the retirement board, the investment group that we were working with were coming in under and not achieving the goals of the investment. What I had asked was to take that funding as well as the pension obligation bond and have PERIC invest it. Now what happened after that bond was sold, and no clue to anybody in the city, $3.5 million was stolen from the retirement board underneath this administration. That was underneath our email that was used by the retirement board, and it has never been recovered. The PERIC report came back and put a spotlight on the City of Quincy for not actually having the right structure in place to be able to protect our tax dollars. My fear is that we're going to actually have another unfunded pension obligation bond in the future.
The candidates also sparred about developments, with Mahoney claiming that only a third of the Quincy Center redevelopment project is completed and only a quarter of the city's roads have been repaired in Koch's 16 years in office. Koch said Quincy Center has been greatly improved since his taking office and that roads are being rebuilt to last for many years into the future. Well, some major improvements are being made to the Pine Hill and Mount Wollaston cemeteries in Quincy. Over 13,000 new grave sites on 7 acres are being added to Pine Hill that will serve the city for the next 20 years. And a major upgrade is being made to the C Street entrance of Mount Wollaston Cemetery. Mayor Thomas Koch says that $3 million project will beautify that portion of the historic cemetery.
The last few years, there's been a lot of work in there, replacing all the water mains, lines, spigots, new roadways in there. And then the most recent project that we've been working on is the veteran section and the gate that comes in, the main gate from C Street. Beautifully new landscape, completely changed the entrance. It was very unwieldy before. You could probably land a plane on that end of it. it was just so wide and crazy setup. So we've got a more formal entrance, which is similar to what it was way back when. Not the same style gate, but a very similar formal entrance that most cemeteries of this vintage have. We're picking up space for additional veterans' graves. We moved all the wall monuments so they align chronologically, and they'll all be lit at night. And we're adding flags for not only the U.S. flag, state, and city, but the 6 branches of the military branches of service will be also uplit at night. The gate itself, the entrance area, which is made of an iron product, being constructed built as we speak. That won't be ready probably till the spring, but everything else will be finished up probably about a week before Veterans Day, and we'll reopen the facility.
Those Veterans section improvements at Mount Wollaston are expected to be completed in time for Veterans Day this year. The Pine Hill Cemetery project will continue into late next year. 2 men are now facing gun and drug charges after 2 separate arrests in Quincy this past Sunday. 25-year-old Theodore Mayo from Brockton was arrested in the Star Market parking lot on Granite Street after police recognized him from an earlier report that he threatened his girlfriend with a gun. Officers did recover a loaded handgun in his vehicle and charged him with the illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. Later on Sunday, 34-year-old Malcolm Krabenhoft from Randolph was arrested after running a stop sign near the Neponset River Bridge. Officers recovered 9 pounds of marijuana and a loaded handgun in his car. Krabenhoft is charged with the illegal possession of a weapon, ammunition, and a Class D drug. Both men were arraigned this past Tuesday in Quincy District Court. Demolition now underway on the clubhouse at the Furnace Brook Golf Course in Quincy. City crews began tearing down the 100-year-old clubhouse earlier this week, part of a $14 million renovation project that will include a new clubhouse. Mayor Thomas Koch says when completed, that new facility will benefit the entire community.
Well, certainly brand new, clean, easily accessible by anybody. Mm-hmm. It'll have a function facility like the old one did, a nice wraparound porch like the old one did, and then, of course, new locker rooms and new kitchen, a much better kitchen that will allow for, in this case, the Fours has been the vendor up there to provide, better meals than what was in the past. And then I believe there's going to be some golf simulators in the lower level that people can use as well. So it's going to be a comprehensive facility. Place has needed a facelift for a long time, and certainly the clubhouse is the biggest face of it. So it's good stuff. And, as you know, we had appropriations passed by the city council, and it's anticipated over the coming years that the revenue coming in from the golf will cover the cost of most of this bond, if not all of it.
City took control of the 9-hole course back in January of 2022 and plans to keep it a municipal course. Greens fees for Quincy residents range from $30 for a weekday 9-hole round to $55 for 18 holes on the weekends and holidays. Special rates do apply for seniors and junior golfers. The first 20 graduates of Quincy College's new Community Health Worker Certificate program were recently honored during a pinning ceremony. Those students completed 80 hours of classroom and field experience, including at Mannett Community Health Center and Boston Medical Center. Community health workers deliver culturally appropriate health education, information, and outreach in homes, businesses, schools, clinics, shelters, local businesses, and community centers, helping residents with access to health care. Quincy College offers the program free of charge thanks to a $166,000 state grant. Those new graduates can become state-certified community health care workers once they complete 2,000 hours of work experience. 4 of the graduates from that first class are Quincy residents. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Kevin Coughlin's here from the Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association. That's next. Welcome back. The Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association is celebrating its 32nd anniversary this year. I'm sure that'll be part of tomorrow's annual Pumpkin Spice Festival at Bishop Field. But to find out more about it, let's check in with Kevin Coughlin, who's the treasurer for the association. Hi, Kevin.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Oh, it's always great to be here with
I
you,
thought you
Joe.
might have a pumpkin head or something.
Well, I actually I drove by Star Market and they were unloading these big crates of the biggest pumpkins that I've seen in Quincy. And I thought to myself, geez, I should put one up and bring it over
Bring
to
it to
QATV and
Oh,
just
put it on the table
plunk
here?
it down on the table. But
There'll be plenty tomorrow, I'm sure.
yeah,
right?
yeah, it will.
As I mentioned, it's the 32nd year for the association.
It is. God bless them, Janet and Howie Crowley. Janet has since passed, but Howie just turned 90
Wow.
a few weeks ago, and I stopped over to see him just to go over a few things. And they started it with Larry Cretion, and it, as most associations start, it's often around some advocacy, on behalf of some issue that's going on in the general neighborhood. And I think we all coalesced, that my recollection was around the closing of the pneumatic scale factory and the proposition to site a Stop and Shop at that former location and what impacts that may have.
Right.
And then we took off from there, and we expanded our reach into doing programs and supporting kids in the public schools with scholarships, and all the way from the elementary schools at Montclair and Wollaston with musical instrument scholarships, and up to the high school level with academic scholarships. And there's always, throughout the 32 years, there's been a variety of other issues that, that we've stood up for. Most recently was Zero Harriet Ave, when there was a proposal to develop that site. And along the way, we try to have some fun.
Yes.
It's not all serious business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty impressive that, we're talking about people that give of their volunteer their time,
Yep.
right? Their spare time,
Yep.
to an organization like this. So it's pretty impressive that it's been around for so long on a consistent basis. Some of them come and go, have lapses, but you've been pretty steadfast the whole way
Yeah,
through.
yeah. And I kind of did full circle. I was there. Then I was on the city council, and I had to step away from any position within the structure. And then after I retired from the city council, I stepped back into an officer role. And but even along the way, it's funny. I went through my archives and I dug out some of the some things from, way back in the 90s when we were doing, a family day, and we rededicated Bishop's Field.
Okay.
And, we've had great support from, for example, Stop and Shop. They've been with us all the way.
Isn't it ironic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The organization was founded around opposition
Yeah,
to
or
Stop and Shop.
concerns. I won't say
Oh,
opposition.
all right,
well,
concerns, yeah.
There were some, there were some serious concerns
Sure.
about how that would impact the neighborhood.
Yes.
Because it was not just their facility, but it was the strip mall across the
Yep.
street. And
Yep.
at one point, they wanted to put a Stop and Shop gas station, which I had helped oppose that because
Yep.
the neighbors didn't want it. But I used my Stop and Shop card to get gas, and I end up either going over into Boston or down into Pembroke or
You say, "Geez,
whatever.
I
Geez,
wish there was one.
it was, it's like 2 blocks from my house.
Right.
I'm kind of wishing there was a gas station. But
Hindsight's 20/20, right?
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But it's nice to see that they're supporting local community groups like this.
Yeah, they've been, since before they were bought out by Royal Ahold, when it was basically the original family-run business. They've been great sponsors. Dan Quirk has been fabulous as well, and he helps with everything.
That's great.
But just pick up the phone and I call down and I say, are you guys interested in helping us out again
Yeah.
this year? And they do. And then we get some local elected officials that jump in. Ian Kane has supported us in this, the festival for the last few years. Noel DeBona, Ann Mahoney, not this year. She's kind of in the midst of her mayoral campaign, and I've stayed away from, I don't want to get into the politics of
Right.
this, so I've
Yeah.
kind of stepped back from asking anyone at that level. But Courtney Perdios has helped us, and she's helping us again this year. I know she's a candidate, but you know, she's been supportive of us. And I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Tacky Chan. How can I forget Tacky? Tacky's like, you know, anything you want, whenever you want.
Super.
So it's great to have, you know, some electeds help us out, some local businesses, and the city, you know, obviously has been a partner in this. You know, the Parks Department, you know, the licensing board. I mean, there's several different levels where I, you know, intersect
Yes.
with, you know, with various.
It takes a village, right?
It does, you know.
Well,
this
it
wouldn't
happens on city property, Bishop
Right.
Field.
Right. Yep.
Right next to the Montclair School. We should
Yep.
talk, I guess, about, now you'd be the person to ask, why is it called Bishop Field, Kevin?
There was a Civil War hero,
Okay.
Frederick Bishop.
Oh, okay.
Lived up in Wollaston Hill, actually, and so it was named after a
I
war
see.
hero. Yeah.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. So, I bet a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that. Is there a plaque there?
Yeah, there is actually. We actually there's a couple of plaques. There's a Vietnam veteran who has a plaque that he grew up literally one street over from the park. That's down by where there's a kiddie park that was put in a number of years back, and right in front of that is a stone with a tablet on it,
Okay.
and then there's the one that commemorates Frederick Bishop. And there's another one there too with a tree planting, and I'm having a senior moment. I should know this. He was a city councilor back when I was a kid. So,
Oh, all right. But, you know, you
It'll
can't
come to
expect to
me-
be,
Yeah.
it'll come to you before the end of the show?
Well, I don't know. It'll probably come to me tomorrow morning. I'll
right.
wake up and I'll say, "Oh, geez, you know."
Well, call back and
No,
we'll let folks know on Monday.
You can edit, you know.
Yeah.
But
They can check it out when they're at the festival tomorrow.
they can.
Yes,
Yeah. And I'm hoping people will come.
Yes.
And, you know, we're. I've been saying 3 novenas.
Hail Marys.
Hail Marys, Our Fathers, and Acts of Contrition. Probably more of the latter than the former. But anyways, just in terms of hoping that you know, it doesn't rain. And you know, at the beginning of the week, it looked like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
Another washout, right?
Another
yeah.
washout. You know, I mean, I felt bad for Walter Hubley. Walter and I, you know, we get together on certain things. They're participating, the Wollaston Hill Neighborhood
Yes.
Association, with us tomorrow on
Yep.
this. And my band performed at their first Saturdays in the Park event. And probably a quarter of the way into our performance, the skies opened up and we
Yes.
had to pull the plug, and
Yep.
ended up doing an acoustic performance under a tent.
An
for like the
unplugged version.
An unplugged version for
Of the
several
Rudder
hours.
Kings,
Yeah, yeah. But then every Saturday thereafter, I said, "Oh my God, poor Walter! He's
Yeah.
you know, he's got another event that's, you know,
Washed out.
Washed out."
Yeah. But you've broken the curse, Kevin. You've reversed the curse.
We reversed the curse. I'm just, you know, it's I've been on tenterhooks.
It looks good for tomorrow.
It does.
I think you're
I
going to
know.
be fine. So
It's-
tell us all about it. What's going to happen?
It takes a lot to put this together.
Yeah. So noon to 4 tomorrow.
Noon to 4 tomorrow,
Yeah.
and a lot of things for kids.
Okay.
You know, you're going to have you know, balloon twisters and face painters, and we've got the bouncy house. I've got a petting zoo that's coming. It's not actually on the flyer because it was a late edition.
Okay.
Getting a petting zoo is a little difficult.
Yeah.
Actually, any of the performers, you got to plan these things months in advance because everybody's doing festivals
have
at this
schedules,
time of
right?
year.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a late addition to this. I had been hoping, been trying, and finally secured someone about a week and a half ago.
Great.
To add to the mix, and then we got the Toucher truck.
Yes.
And you know, my gratitude to the Quincy Fire Department, the Police Department, you know, for bringing their equipment down, and we got Brewster Ambulance, and we've had the Coast Guard in the past.
Really?
But unfortunately, this year, one of their rescue boats that they were planning to bring, because they rotate them in and out, had to go into the shop for service, so they had to cancel out on us at the last minute. That was actually a great draw. The kids loved it. I think it was probably a 37-foot rescue boat.
Yeah, it's not something you normally see. You know,
It isn't.
So that's neat.
Yeah. But I've got a little Mariner in my blood, and you know, we used to have a boat. But anyways, and then we're going to have Montilio's. They do a nice spread with the pizza and you know, pastries, And then, as I mentioned, we have Walter Hubley with his association. They're providing the refreshments, the liquid refreshments,
Gotcha.
the adult refreshments.
Yes, okay.
And we're going to be raffling off a couple of gift certificates for Stop and Shop,
Nice.
two $50 gift certificates, which will be nice. And the raffle's free. There's no charge for any of this.
Except for the food, right?
Except for the food,
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. I don't want people thinking come and get free
Right,
Monteleone's
but all the
pizza.
activities are free.
All the activities are free,
Yep.
and the musical entertainment. Peter
Right.
Munt is a solo performer. He's played for us for several years, and very entertaining, does a really nice show. That'll be the opening act. And
Okay.
then, of course, the Rudder Kings come on.
Of course.
Quincy's own band, and so the musical entertainment will be nice. And yeah, it's just a pretty comprehensive event. And
So is there, a pumpkin spice festival, so is there a theme to like the decor or the outfits that people wear, or why is it called
you can
pumpkin
come
spice?
dressed as you will.
Come as you will. All right, okay.
No costumes are not required.
Okay, all right, okay.
I think I had to come up with a name
Oh,
a number
okay.
of years ago, and it was like, well, it's that time of year,
Yeah.
and everybody likes pumpkins, and then people started doing things like Dunkin' Donuts with pumpkin spice coffees.
Yes.
And, I think we actually set them, off to do that type of thing, but won't
Okay.
take much credit for
Okay.
that. But anyways.
I don't know if you're gonna have like jack-o'-lantern carving contests. Or
We
things like
actually did one year. We did offer the opportunity for people to carve pumpkins, but
Yeah.
there's just it's a volunteer organization, and trying to
Yes.
get people to to take time out of their busy schedules in order to like oversee something like that.
Right.
It's challenging as it is. I'm kind of like a one-man show putting this all together.
Okay.
It took me hundreds of hours to making phone calls.
I believe it.
and,
Yeah, I believe it.
because people are busy, and so.
Do you need anything right now?
Do I need anything?
For help for the festival?
Yeah, if people want to come and volunteer to,
Yep.
to help out, supervise certain things like the bouncy house.
Okay.
Because we try to keep the teenagers separated from the little ones, especially when you get a bouncy house. Last year we did that, and we did an obstacle course, and the bouncy house we did a supersize with a slide, and some of the older kids decided that they wanted to walk up the slide while the younger kids were coming down, and it got and parents got a little antsy about certain things like
safety
that.
is
which
paramount, of
safety is
course.
paramount. So, so my daughter was, supervising that, and I'm not sure she wants to do it again this year.
Okay, so you might need some help with that.
But she said she would. But as long as I didn't get the obstacle course and the bouncy house with the slide, I had to get a regular bouncy house. So,
Okay.
so I did that. But anyway.
Donations? Do you do any donations for the festival, or you're pretty well set?
We've done really well, like I said, with the donations we've received
Okay.
from the various benefactors.
Great.
I think I covered them all. I do not want to leave anybody
No,
out.
certainly not.
I
yeah.
think I got them all.
And
Yeah,
cleaned up, right?
I can't. No, I can't. I almost missed one.
Yep.
The big sponsor for us is Granite Telecommunications.
Oh, okay.
They've been with us from day one, and they were very generous benefactor, and they kind of signed up for a 15-year-long source of funding
I see.
to us, and
Okay.
it's significant.
Oh,
and
nice.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, we're very grateful to Rob Hale and to Granite Telecommunications.
Logistically, Kevin, for folks who want to come to the festival, where do they park? How do they get there?
So it's noon to 4 tomorrow,
Yep.
and parking. There's a lot of parking, obviously, on Holbrook Road.
Okay.
I don't think that'll be closed off. I don't see a reason why, because everything comes on to the field. Like when the Montclair School does their May Festival, they actually close Holbrook Road down because they do the pony rides out in the
I
street
see.
and some of the other stuff. We don't. Everything's on Bishop Field.
Okay.
So there should be parking there, and then there's the schoolyard, for the Montclair School,
Yes.
which provides parking. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay in that regard.
Okay.
I think street parking will be pretty good in the schoolyard. Adding to that, will be okay.
Will help as well,
Will
yeah.
help as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
About how many folks do you expect, or do you?
It's tough to call. I mean,
Yeah.
we had between 400 and 500
Wow. That's
last
nice.
year.
Okay.
I'm hoping for that type of a turnout, just because I want people to come and enjoy it.
Right. Yeah.
It's there's a lot of bad things going on in the world,
very true, yeah.
And we need to kind of stop and celebrate each other and celebrate our community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MontclairWollaston.com is your website.
Yep.
Go there,
Yep.
get more information.
Yeah.
Find out about the association, too.
and my son had put our our thing on there and asked people if they wanted to RSVP, they could, just to give us a head count or a sense. But I'm not sure that that is, as a practical matter, has
Okay.
ever come into play. It's
All right. Just show up and have fun.
just show up and have fun.
Maybe buy one of those T-shirts.
Well, actually, this is a
Or is that a-
vintage '94. If you look
Oh.
in the back of this thing, it's got people like Representative Michael Bellotti
Oh, okay.
and Councilor Patrick McDermott, because these were shirts that I had done up, and I came up with the "We Are One Community" slogan.
It's a classic like yourself,
It's
Kevin.
it's a classic. Yeah.
Hey, have a great time tomorrow.
Yeah, I will, Joe. Thank you so much
You're
for
very
giving
welcome.
us this opportunity.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, it's great.
Enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. It looks fantastic, very fall-like, bright, brisk, breezy with highs in the low 60s this afternoon, mid-40s this evening. Yes, it will be dry this weekend for all of the outdoor activities, including the Pumpkin Spice Festival, with daytime highs in the low 60s and nighttime lows right around 50 degrees. Thanks again to Kevin Coughlin for joining us today from the Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here in the show, Quincy Chamber of Commerce President Tim Cahill will stop by. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there, news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.